Right, so let's have an update on our project vehicle. This is one that we have bought at auction. We paid about £16,500 or something in that range, which seems very cheap. Now, there may be a sting in the tail because the car was supposed to be on temporary import. It was declared as being on temporary import. And buying it, I'm now responsible for the import duties and tax, VAT, on the vehicle. And there's some horror stories around with people getting stung for big bills, but I'm hoping not, because I've just bought the car. So let's see how that works out. Right, so there are a few things wrong with the car. We're going to have a quick look. Now, we tried to drive it out of the NEC hall. First, it ran out of petrol. This was all on private ground at the NEC. And then we tried to drive it into the car park and the brakes seized. And they were so seized there was steam coming out of them. So we had to get trailered, which was our plan anyway. Right, so we got it trailered back and it's now here. So we have got what we think is seized brakes. Certainly the calipers and that were hot. But while we were waiting for the trailer guy, because he was delayed, it was all a long story, we had a look around it and there are some things wrong. Now you see the spring is nicely seated. Right, and this real one, the spring is nicely seated, but we'll go around the other side. So it should be seated like this. So you see this lip comes down, okay. On the other side, whoo, come around the back here, it's not seated. Now apparently this is a problem. Can you see that coil has come out? It should be behind this lip. Now we have bought from Britpart, we're going to plug Britpart. No affiliation to Britpart, but I love the guys there. And they do their best to help us keep Land Rovers on the road. So they do a cone kit or a location kit that locates this. Now, there's actually a problem on the front as well, because on the front at the bottom, and we could see this better in the workshop, I don't know. Apparently, let's have a look. Yeah, this front spring here isn't really sat very well. And you can get a locator clip that clips this on. This one here is all set off a bit as well. So we've got the front spring locators. So we are going to try and get this in the workshop. Now it's a V8, so we've got spark plugs. I don't know what we'll do in this video. We've got to change the spark plugs, the rotor arm, the dizzy cap, the coil, just the basics because it's running a bit rough. We need to do a compression test on it. But first of all, let's get it moving, which I think is going to be a question of getting the brakes calipers sorted first. So let's see, is it going to start today for us? So let's see it. Right. Oh, another thing we've got to do, I keep standing on this, which is good, but it needs some tread plate on here because it's a bit slippy. Right, so here we go. Woo. Don't even know which side to put it in. So as you can see, it's super nicely trimmed inside. It's all super fresh. Right, here we go. Check we're in neutral. Now there is a choke, but I didn't use it last time. Let's give it a bit of choke, shall we? Oh, he's a bit seized. I found out how to get the choke out. He's a bit stiff. I think everything's a bit stiff on this. Whoa, we're going right. The turning circle on this is horrendous. I've got to try and get in the garage. Look how big this is, Alicia. Get over there. This is massive. It's huge. It looks bigger than the Stig in the workshop, doesn't it? Right, so we are just going to jack up this front corner, take the wheel off, and have a look what's going on with these brakes. Right, so here we go. So they've put the proper drop link in here. I guess this just drops this. It's all looking absolutely mint. Now, the brakes are working. The discs look fine. They look mint. Seems to be okay, but we'll take these off, take the caliper off. We'll clamp the hose, although I never have any joy with those hose clamps. This hose feels pretty rigid. Don't want all the brake fluid leaking out. We'll put a bit of plastic over the top of the reservoir. That looks like it's liable to rattle. I'll check what's going on with that while I'm there. Right, this doesn't look like it's broken. It's a bit weird. It looks like it just sits there on a clip. I guess that's just easier to look. But everything's looking neat under here. Right, so caliper off. We've got 2 bolts on the back of the caliper, I reckon. All looking good. Yeah, right, we'll whip this off. Right, we're all on, the 2 bolts are undone. Let's have that caliper off and the hydraulic connections undone. Hey, oh, they might have just seized in there. Right, let's go and compare it to the Brit part one. Yeah, it's not leaking too much brake fluid. You put a bit of plastic under the reservoir cap to see that there to reduce the amount of. It creates a vacuum. So right, let's get it on the bench. Let's tidy this bench, Alicia. So our car's got vented discs, and let's have a look. This is the part number, Brit part. Let's have a look what we got. Nicely boxed, nicely wrapped, and let's have a look. Does that look like the same sort of thing? Let's get it the same way round, same way round. That looks like the right part, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's get the pads swapped over. Alicia's on it. Let's get those. Pull that little split pin out. So a little. It's not a split. There's a proper name for that, I'm sure. All right, lay it all out where we're going to do it, and then do those pins extract upwards, do they? Give them a little wriggle sometimes. You might have to push them out. It goes that way, doesn't it? Yeah. Because the pin was stopping it coming out. Alright, so there's a spring and a pin. That's it. A spring and a pin. Good. And then you can take that out and you can slip that straight in there. Okay, because we've got everything the same way around. Get the other one, they seem to fit. Now let's just have a quick look at the pads. Yeah, they're absolutely mint. There's nothing wrong with those. Put that there, and then obviously the pins went up through, catch the spring. You might have to jiggle this one to get it. You got it through?
Yeah.
Into the top. Line it all up, jiggle it about a bit. Keep pushing, jiggle it till you got it all through all 3 layers, 4 layers. There you go, get your pin in. There you go, we'll get the other one done and we'll get that back on the car. Good measure. This is going to slide it back and put a bit of copper grease. Apparently they say it stops them squealing. I don't know if I believe. We like copper grease, so don't we?
Yeah.
Ginger grease, we call it. Right, there we go. That's all good. Right, let's get that back on the car and get that reconnected.
Are you taking that out?
Yeah, we'll take that out when we're ready to put the other pipe in. Right, we're just looking at the other side. A couple of things we've noticed. That track rod end is also split, isn't it? That's perished. So we've got that on the list. But look down in through there, Alicia. Hold on, let me have a look. Where did I see it? Right under the bottom there. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Right, can you see under the bottom there? Can you see that bolt that's going into the back of the disc? Can you see it? Sort of in the light's not shining on it. Hold on, let me get the light shining on it. It's inside there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That doesn't look right. That's right close to the disc. And also, this top mount here is not. It should be on that bracket there. It's too far. It needs to go forwards a bit. All right, we'll get that sorted. We got the same issue with that bolt there. Look, that just looks wrong, jammed in there. Other than that, I mean, it's a shame because it all looks so mint. Otherwise, it's just a couple of little. Sorry, am I dazzling you? Other than that, it all looks totally mint. But we'll get those sorted.
We'll split this one. So we need 2 of these then.
Yeah. Right. Alicia's changed that caliper. I've just got to check they're tight, haven't I, Alicia? We have now I don't know if you're supposed to do this. We have put a hydraulic jack between the axle and the body, and now this spring is loose. So we are going to try and look at, what do I do with that bag? Let me grab that bag. We're going to look at retaining these lower springs. So the top of the spring, you can see it's pretty well located here. I'm not too worried about that getting loose. But this bottom of the spring, now I think the problem is that this plate and this bottom plate, when the car is at normal height, are parallel. It'll look this way, and then as you go, that axle goes down when you lift it. This plate is no longer parallel to the top plate. So you can see, obviously it's extreme at the moment, but this bottom plate is angled like this. This one is like this. So the spring is tight at the back edge here, but look, it's not touching here. So these brackets here, did we get the part number, Alicia? DA2362. These, they say, but they come with no fixings and no bolts. So I might have to get some of you guys to help me here. I'll have to get Alyssa to help me get in the bag. I can't even open the bag. So that is what you get in the bag. Now if you look here, there's two bolts. I don't know if you can see those. There's one at the front here. And I've got to be careful, Alyssa, because this is on a jack. And we've got to get this plate. It's going to go round here and then bolt that down. But it doesn't come with any spacers. So I guess I'm going to have to put longer bolts on. But I don't want to take both bolts out. So I'll take, because I'm worried that whole disc will move. So I think you've got to take one bolt out, put that in, but there's no spacer on it. So I am going to put a big washer on the top because I think we can work this out. Right, so here's the plate. We've got one bolt out. So the plate is going to go in like that and clamp down. So obviously I need a longer bolts to pull it down. I just wonder if we've got clearance under here. I think we have for that long bolt to come down. Or now it's located, should I take the jack out now it's in the right location? That's probably a sensible move and a safer move. But then I'll have to get one in, rotate it. I can rotate it this way, look. Get the other bolt out, and then the plate is still connected, and then rotate it back in. So M10 seems to be the bolt of choice. Let's have a look. Yeah, M10 bolt will go up fine. Right, now, one thing you've got to watch, obviously, so I can rotate this spring now. You don't, because I'm clamping at the front and the back, I don't want to be I don't want to have the clamp lined up where I'm clamping either a half or 1.5. I really want to get it so that the 1.5 bit I think is at the back. Is that going to be the best? Yeah. And then I've got a nice full coil front and back to get that plate on. Right, let's let the jack down and hopefully it will stay there. So I've only had to jack it up to relocate and position the spring. Yeah. I've got some M10 by 35s. They really ought to supply those with the thing, right? And I've put a nice big washer on it. It doesn't get in the way of that shock absorber too much, does it? No. You haven't got a lot of room. But let's think, all the weight's on it, so that shock absorber is not going to move much from there. Right, let's get the washer and nut on the bottom. Get that tightened up. Not tightened up, just held in position. Right, and then I can swing this out the way and we'll undo that other one. Right, that should better rotate. So he's in line with that one there. Now, I don't know if this washer's going to get in. That shock absorber's closer on this one. Let me have a fiddle, see if we can get it in. The problem I got is if I get the bolt lined up, if I go from the top, the bolt is at an angle. And it's not, you see, it's not vertical because the head of it is resting against the body of this shock absorber. But if I go up from the bottom, let me put a washer on it first. If I go up from the bottom, I think I'm alright. If I can find the hole, let's have a look, it's in there somewhere. Right. Yeah, see that goes up, and that 35mm, that's not touching that shock absorber. Let's see if I can get that nice washer on to spread the load. Oh, it's a bit of a fiddle. And this is on a mint clean cart. Look, yeah, and that's all clear of the shock absorber. And I just got to see if I can get the nut in. Also clear of the shock absorber. Oh, they could have welded some captive nuts on these. Oh, that would be easy, wouldn't it? If they welded some captive nut and gave them, should I design some with captive nuts? Oh, that is close on there. I think I'm going to have to ditch the washer. The washer's toast. I was over keen. Right, let's get that tightened up. Right, yeah, he's just, and you can see the angle he's at. You'd never have got it in with the bolt down. I can't see I'd have ever got that one down. Unless it is too close to the shock absorber. I could either shorten it, put some washers at the bottom. I'm just trying to think how I can get the bolt in from the top. I don't think I can. I think even if I did that one first, I think I'd be struggling. Right, let's take it out. We'll just take it out and we'll put another washer. We'll put another couple of washers at the bottom just to space it down a bit. Right, so there we go. We've put a couple of washers under the bottom just to give that clearance from the shock absorber. But that spring is not going anywhere now. So we'll do that on the other side. So that's brilliant. We've got the front brakes done. We haven't bled the brakes. We'll have to bleed the brakes. Let's get that other spring shackle on, and that'll probably be enough for this video, I reckon, don't you, Alicia?
Yeah.
Front on the Defender. Right, question. Come this way, Alicia. Question, not for you, question for all those Land Rover people that know way more than we know. And there's a lot of you, because we don't know that much. This was sold to me as a Land Rover Defender 127. But someone said it's a 130, and someone else has said it's a 110 pickup. Because if you notice, the body is not, the tub is not separate. So on a lot of pickup trucks, the cab is there and the tub is there, and there's a line between. This one, it's one continuous body shell. So does that make it a 110, a 127 or a 130? We could check the wheelbase just to see what the wheelbase is. Let's do that. So we have just checked from the center cap of the center of the center cap of the back wheel to the center of the front wheel, and it is 127 inches. So does that, don't tell me a 110 pickup at 127 inches, in which case it's 127. But right, that's enough for this video. I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll do the rear brakes in the next video and the rear spring locations at the top. I think it's the cones at the top we need to do. Right, good luck with that. Right, some people said on my last video, don't bother with new calipers, Simon. Just put stainless steel pistons in your old one. And I respect that, because don't want to waste it. But this car kind of mint. So I thought I'm going to go for their expense. They're not ultra dear, 60 odd pounds a caliper. Now, these pistons are not, this is magnetic, so they are not stainless steel. So someone, if they're keen, could take this caliper, because I think it's had little use, and put stainless steel pistons. If you want to do that, write to Alicia and she'll post them off to you. 2 calipers. There you go.